it's in Aramaic, and the Aramaic is more of a harder Aramaic than we are used to. So I'll read it in Hebrew, the Hebrew translation. Now the reason it's in Aramaic,
that's my question.
Yeah, why is it in Aramaic?
My mind.
Like they say, yeah, so my mother says that great minds think alike. So the reason it's in Aramaic is the previous perek was in Aramaic, is that this perek and the previous perek also talk about letters were sent between the Jews or people living around the Jews to the king, and from the king to the area of Judea. Now Aramaic in those days was maybe like English as today. It's an international language. So if you want to send a letter to the king, you use the Aramaic language. I asked myself, what is the point of, why do you need the letters here? Why is the Nabi putting two perekim for letters? He didn't write the letters, he's just copying them, maybe shortening them up a bit. But why is it important to have the letters here?
Use the word for word of the letter.
Yeah, or just tell us, give us summarize. Tell us in two psukim, and the people around Yehuda sent letters to the king to try to stop it, and the king sent a letter, and we'll see the answer soon, said you can continue. Why do we have all of the letters here? It's actually, generally speaking, we see Ezra and Nehemiah have a lot of information around names and around also other incidents there. I think I can come with maybe with two explanations. One is to show that not everything went easy, and we many times expect things to be easy. I'm doing a mitzvah. Why can't Hashem help me to do a mitzvah? Right? I'm doing a mitzvah. Yeah, I'm building my sukkah. I can't find schach now. Now I need to go to market to buy a schach. I want Hashem to help me. They're building Jerusalem. After Hashem said that they could come and build Jerusalem, why is it going easily? And we learn from here that sometimes we have to have effort, and things in life, especially maybe in creating a holy nation, a holy city, takes effort. The Gemara says, Eretz Yisrael niknet b'yisurim. The land of Israel is bought with maybe effort, maybe a bit of sacrifice, maybe a bit of sacrifice. You need effort to build the land. And the reason of it is, you can see that maybe something that comes easily also goes easy. We don't appreciate so much something which we just received as a present. Okay, so I received something, it broke the next day, big deal, nothing really happened. The second half part of this explanation is that here we can see Hashem did help them. Hashem, they have two prophets, a few more prophets that helped them to build the temple, and Hashem did help them build the temple, and He also helped them with Dayavish. So Hashem does help us, and when He helps us, we should recognize it and appreciate it. Actually, just before Purim, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from Purim, and we can read the Megillah, which is more or less the same time. Actually, according to one of the explanations, for me it's a bit hard to fit with this explanation. Dayavish, the king we'll be talking about him, is Achashverosh. So these something connected to the Megillah, and we might think, okay, so there was a great queen, a nice queen, a great king, and just by chance managed to save all the Jews. But the idea of the Megillah is to teach us Hashem is maybe hiding, but He is with us. And that's one reason maybe for all this, bringing all the letters to show the difficulty and to show also how maybe behind the scenes Hashem did help. Another reason is the letters show also the effort of non-Jewish people to bother the Jewish people. We should realize sometimes it happened. But it also shows the king who realizes Hashem wants to build a house in Jerusalem, and He gives permission. and many non-Jewish people also realize Hashem is in the world, and we should also accept that. And it's great that they realize Hashem is in the world, and maybe they're coming to help us. So teach us those two things. First, the difficulties in Hashem, in the difficulties, and the reaction of nations, which can have two different reactions. Before we go into the perek, so last perek we learned about letters that were sent to the king, to Koresh, or Artaxerxes, and he stopped building the temple. He told the other nations around Jerusalem to prevent the Jews from building the temple. And he said to them to do it in a nice way, in a calm way. The calm way could have maybe two explanations, and one of them will connect maybe to here. One reason for preventing the Jews from building the temple in a calm way, maybe he didn't want to create war. He didn't want all the people who live in the kingdom, his people. So if he has a war inside his kingdom, it's against the king's will. If he has the Jews who live in Israel and maybe they bring taxes to the king, it's his benefit that the Jews will live calm and peace. Maybe he doesn't want them to build a town or city with walls around it, but he wants them to live there and happily, so it's his interest. So that might be one reason. Another reason is that the king, Koresh, did give permission to build the temple. And as we see in the story of the Megillah, and also we'll see here, if the king writes something in a letter, he can't go against it. You don't write something and then the next day, okay, we had a mistake, let's change and let's write. That's the rules of Madan Paras. If the king writes something, you have to stick to it. So the king did give permission to build the temple. He wants to stop it, so he thinks it's maybe a tactical way to stop it without saying you can't build a temple. The Malbim has an interesting explanation, and then it connects to us here, that I think we mentioned it last week, the non-Jewish people told the king, look, they are building a city. You gave them permission to build a temple, but they are building a city with a wall around it. So, and then when the king says you aren't allowed to build a city with a wall around it, so they make the Jews stop from building the temple. But the king actually never said that the Jews aren't allowed to build a temple. They stopped because people were bothering them, but the king never said they aren't allowed to build a temple. And that here brings us to this period. Okay, so according to the Malbim's explanation, the king never said they aren't allowed to build a temple. It was interpreted somehow that the king was maybe misled to think that they are building a city to fight an end against him. So he stopped all the work, but he didn't really mean to stop building a temple. Anyway, the king dies, and we have a new king, and we have a king called Darius. And I'll read it in Hebrew, and I'll explain it in English. וניבא חגי הנביא וזכריה בן עדו הנביאים על היהודים אשר ביהודה ובירושלים בשם אלוקי ישראל עליהם. So Haggai הנביא and Zechariah ben Iddo, both of them were Nevi'im, on the Jews that are in Yehuda and in Jerusalem, in the name of Hashem, the God of Israel, on them. Who is, so we have Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, they are the last prophets. Iddo, I tried to find out who Iddo is. It says here Iddo was a prophet. I'm not sure if it's the same Iddo. It could be too much of a gap generation, or this, but Elisha, the prophet Elisha, he brings back a child into life. That child, according to one of the commentaries I saw, was Iddo. Iddo. Was it the same Iddo? Not the same Iddo? I thought, no, just interesting, the name appears here. So anyway, so the prophets tell the Jews, start building the temple. And we're talking about the temple, we aren't talking about the city, right? We're talking about the temple. אזי קמו זרובבל בן שאלתיאל ויהושע בן יהוצדק, we met those names already, והחלו לבנות את בית האלוקים אשר בירושלים, ועמהם נביאי האלוקים תומכים אותם. So Zerubbabel and Yehoshua, they started to rebuild the house of God which is in Jerusalem, and again, I'll just mention it in a sentence, we can see again the house of God which is in Jerusalem, mentioned very many times. and the prophets were helping them. You have to have prophets building the temple.
So they stop building, and then they start building the temple?
Yeah. That's a new king too. Afterwards, it's around 70 years from the last exile. More or less ends now, so that's the time to build the temple. Hashem promised. Okay, and they had prophets helping them, because you have to know where to put everything. If we do things from ourselves, it might be avodah zarah. But Hashem tells us, like we read in this week's parasha, to build an ark with angels above it, and they have the wings, so that's not avodah zarah, that's the holiest of holiest. So they had to have prophets with them, building the temple. Bovas man at that time, Ba'alem Tatnai Pachat Ever Anahar, so the name of Tatnai was his name. Pachat is like not a king, but maybe a mayor of Ever Anahar, the other side of the river. V'shetar Boznai v'chavrehem, ushtar Boznai v'chavrehem, ushtar Boznai is his name, and their friends. V'chen omrim lahem, and they told them, Mi sam lachem tzav, ba'it tzelivnot v'choma zo le'ashtim, who gave you permission to build the house of God and the walls around it? As we said, for many years, they stopped building the house until come the prophet. Azai ken amar lahem, so the Jews answered them, Mi hem shmot ha'anashim shebonim binyan ze. Okay, so who are the peoples who building this house? And probably telling the names means that we aren't just building it by ourselves, we have our mayors who led us to build the house, and our mayors maybe got the permission from the king. That's why they're telling them the name. Like it's our mayor.
The king, just like in the Megillah, he publishes his decree, to all the people, up to his whole provinces, that these Jews were allowed to build the temple. I mean, something,
Yeah, so actually we'll meet very soon the fact that the king did allow to build the temple, but it was many years beforehand. So people might have forgotten that. Okay, for quite a few years, now was building the temple. The temple was just left empty. ועיני אלוקיהם, the eye of God, הייתה על זקני היהודים, ולא ביטלו אותם עד שהדבר ידרבש תלך, ועתה ישיבו יגרת על זה. So Hashem helped, he assisted the Jews, that no one bothered them to continue from building. They continued to build while they sent the letter to the Dariavesh king, and until they got the answer back. So maybe they had problems from the non-Jews around them. Hashem did support them here, and they were able to build, although people tried to stop them, until the Dariavesh gave an answer, a positive answer. So we can see here how Hashem helps them here. They have prophets. It's different than the previous times. Here Hashem is more shown, appears in the story here. And here we have the copy of the letter. העתק האיגרת אשר שלח תתנאי תחת עבר הנהר ושטר באוזניים וחבריו. So here we have a copy of the letter that those people sent. האפרכסים אשר בעבר הנהר אל דריווש המלך. Okay, the rulers of the other side of the river, probably the other side of the Jordan River, to King Dariavesh. הדבר שלחו אליו, this is what they sent him, וחזות כתוב בתוכו. This is what it says inside. לדריווש המלך כל השלום. In Aramaic, לדריווש מלכה שלום כולה. So you write a letter. You write a letter first of how are you doing. We bless you with peace. ידוע יהיה למלך, you should know, שהלכנו ליהודה המדינה, לבית האל הגדול. So we went to the kingdom of Yehuda, to the house of the great God. והוא נבנה אבן גלל ועץ מושם בקטלים. So it's built from strong stone, and putting also wood in the walls. והעבודה הזו במרץ נעשית ומצליחה בידם. And this work is done rapidly, and they're actually succeeding in doing it. It's actually describing the same thing that Koresh allowed the Jews to do, to use wood and stone. Why is it to use wood and stone? Wood and stone, stone sounds strong, and wood holds it very strong, so maybe it could be as if it's strong. Could be that the original intention of Koresh was that if the Jews do problems, you can burn the wood and then everything collapses. So that's if you know the אזי שאלנו לזקנים אלה, so we asked those old people, כן אמרנו להם, we asked them, מי שם לכם צו, who allowed you to build, בית זה, לבנות וחומה זו להשלים, who gave you permission to build this house and to finish the wall. ואך שמותיהם שאלנו אותם, we also asked them for their names. And why? To tell you, להודיעך, שיכתוב שם האנשים אשר בראשיהם. They as if maybe telling on the Jews. We're telling you who are the leaders. Check those leaders in your records. Are they really good leaders or no? וכן הדבר השיבונו לאמור. This is what the Jews answered us. אנחנו עם עבדיו של אלוקי השמיים והארץ. We are the servants of the God of the heaven and the earth. ובונים בית אשר היה בנוי לפני זה שנים רבות. We are rebuilding a house which was built many years ago. ומלך גדול לישראל בנהו והשלימו. And a big king of the Jews of Israel built it and finished it. Referring to obviously King Solomon.
Just for clarification, this built it on the exact same site as the first temple, right?
No, actually no. Actually no. Yeah.
Because I was going to say that maybe the walls were, there was some from the first temple, so they're building it exactly where it was. But okay.
Yeah, actually it's built a bit smaller. The permission Koresh gives to build a temple is relatively small. It's 60 amma and 60 amma. The house after the shul we built at the time of Horus and that was much bigger. Much bigger.
Where it came up with the 50, how did it come up with
How
how big or small it should be? I wonder.
Maybe he didn't want to be too big. So it's also interesting just to see the answer of the Jews to the non-Jewish people there, and the way that the non-Jewish people wrote the answer. Said, yeah, the Jews told us it's a big king built the temple, and to the God of the heaven and the earth. It maybe showed us that also the non-Jewish people, also they maybe respected Hashem, which is quite interesting. They respected Hashem. אלא משהכעיסו אבותינו את אלוקי השמיים, since our fathers didn't do mitzvot, they didn't keep mitzvot, and got upset, God Hashem upset. נתן אותם ביד נבוכדנצר מלך כסדי, he gave them in the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of כסדי, מלך בבל הכסדי, the king of בבל הכסדי, ובא יצא חיבו, and Nebuchadnezzar destroyed his house, ואת העם הגלה לבבל, and all the nation was sent to exile of Nebuchadnezzar to בבל. אולם, that's part of the Jews' answer, בשנת אחת לקורש מלך בבל, in the first year of Koresh, the king of בבל, קורש המלך שם צו, קורש the king gave permission, he wrote it down, בית אלוהים זה לבנות, to build this house of Hashem. ואף הכלים של בית האלוקים, של זהב וכסף, or even the vessels of this house of God, of gold and silver, אשר נבוכדנצר הוציא מן ההיכל אשר בירושלים, which Nebuchadnezzar took out from the temple, in Jerusalem, והוביל אותם להיכל של בבל, he brought it to the temple of Babel. And this pasuk really gives us a bit of an answer why Jerusalem mentioned so many times, we'll go to it in a moment. הוציאו אותם קורש המלך מן ההיכל של בבל, ויתנו לששבצר שמו אשר פך שמו. Okay, so those vessels which were taken out from the temple in Jerusalem were brought to the temple to a temple, a hall in Babel. And then Koresh decided to take them out from the hall in Babel and to give it to Sheshbatzar. He also made him a pecha. A pecha is like a ruler of a certain area. So we can see here the fact that though it was, as he mentions, they were taken out from a temple in Babel, or from a hall in Babel, and brought to a hall from a hall in Jerusalem and brought to a hall in Babel. Interesting word here. And again, we can see how the place has so much of a meaning, and we'll discuss it. We said, I think one of the first, maybe second shiur, that it's very non-common to bring things from the capital or from the main state and to put it in more of an outer city. And they said they claim that Koresh did that thing. He took, usually you gather in, you don't send things out. So Nebuchadnezzar gathered in, and Koresh tried to send out. Also here we see from the lines that the Jewish way of thinking, Our house isn't in Babel. Our house is in Jerusalem. Okay, anyway, we continue the pasuk. Ve'amar lo Koresh told Sheshbatzar, Ela kelim sat. These vessels, lift or take. Lech ve'anach otam ba'echal asher b'Yerushalayim. Go and bring them, or go and take them to the hall which is in Jerusalem. Uveit ha'elokim yibaneh al mekomo. And the house of Hashem will be built on its place. So, as we mentioned already, Koresh was later. Azai then Sheshbatzar zeba, this Sheshbatzar came, Natan yesodot shel beit ha'elokim asher b'Yerushalayim, and he built the foundations of the house of Hashem which is in Jerusalem. Ume'az ve'ad ka'et, and since then until now, hu nivna ve'lo nishlam. It was started to be built, but they never finished it. Okay, and v'cha'et, and now, im al ha'melech tov, if it's good on the king, yevukar bebet ha'gnazim shel ha'melech. Look, search in the house of where you keep all, king keeps all of his things, all his written things. Sham asher b'Babel, there in Babel. Im yesh, if it is like that, shemikoresh ha'melech, that Koresh the king, previous king, who sam tzav, he gave permission, he gave a rule, livnot beit elokim ze b'Yerushalayim, to build this house of God in Jerusalem. U'rtzon ha'melech hazeh, and the will of the king, ishlach elein, send to us. That's the letter that non-Jewish people sent to Koresh, to Dariash, sorry. And just reading it, I think it's fascinating, just to see that, as we mentioned, that they realize that there's something of Hashem here in Jerusalem. They don't like it, they don't agree with it. But when it's time to build a temple, so the non-Jewish people also agree with, okay, we don't like it, we want to stop them until Dariash gives permission. And even in the letter of Dariash, so they reflect the Jewish answer. And when I read the perek, I just can't, at least myself, I can't stop from setting an example from that to what happened a bit more than 70 years ago. But when the United Nations accepted to create the state of Israel, and when Hashem wants to, so even the non-Jewish people agree with it. And if we don't believe it, so we can see the non-Jewish nations. They say yes, it's time to build a house in Jerusalem. So even the non-Jewish people push it.
So from this letter they sent to the ruler, what were they counsel? Was they said that they don't want, they want to stop construction? What were they trying to accomplish?
What they're trying to accomplish? That's a good question. So obviously the goal is to stop the construction. They may be hoping that the letter will not be found. They're hoping that the letter will not be found. Actually, I saw in one of the commentaries that the letter wasn't found in the normal place of it. Okay? So maybe they know the letter isn't in the normal place. Koresh might have been in a different area the first year, maybe on a visit somewhere, and there he wrote the letter. So the letter was found actually somewhere else. So maybe they were hoping the letter won't be found, and Hashem and Siyata Dishmaya, the letter was found, although they were hoping it won't be found.
Well, just out of curiosity, didn't Ezra, he was the one, he was also alive with the first temple, the destruction of the first temple, and also this time, when Ezra, when he witnessed to the first.
Yeah. We mentioned Ezra. We'll see Ezra in the next, now starting perek Vav, we'll see him later on. It's hard to give, as we mentioned a few times, the chronological explanation for Ezra and Nehemiah. Also because in history, it's hard for us to connect maybe the simple way of Jewish tradition with the history we know. We mentioned that last week. And also just because Ezra, the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, we'll just hear here, Dariash, King Dariash. Who's King Dariash? Is he someone who we in history call him Dariash? Or is it like one of the commentaries say Achashverosh, who was after Dariash? who's the king? Who are we talking about? And what period of time was it? So it's very hard to know.
What I was, when I was just thinking out loud is that, did they have any people like Ezra, any non-Jewish, people who lived there that knew, they saw the first temple and they knew what was going on, so to speak,
We mentioned in the earlier Prakim that when they built the foundations,
Yeah.
so many people were crying. All the people were crying. They said, "We know how the temple looks like. Nothing like that. It looks much nicer." So all the people were crying, and the other people were happy because they were happy about building the temple. They didn't know to compare. So it was like that. Anyway, but the dates exactly, I think it's a question which we don't have an answer. So I want
Those
to.
were the Jews that remembered it.
Yeah, the Jews
But
remember.
the non-Jews were different people that were sent into that area. So
Yeah.
they wouldn't have any remembrance of that.
Maybe no. They have very old people, so they might remember someone older than 80 years old.
Yeah.
So they might remember. Maybe they had in their small history books. Babel were quite organized, and they kept things for many years. But maybe the people around them had memories from the grandparents. Maybe they remember. We're starting the next perek. This is the perek, is the answer of Daryavish. Okay, the answer of Daryavish. Okay, as Daryavish HaMelech, then Daryavish HaMelech, some tzav, he asked check. וביקרו בבית הספרים, they looked at the house of books. אשר את הגנזים מורידים שם בבבל. That's the archive of where they put all the books, and then they keep them there. ונמצא באחמתה. Okay, what's אחמתה is a question. אחמתה might be a special book or something where you keep books inside it, maybe some. Anyway, it's a container for keeping those books. בבירה אשר במדי המדינה, in the capital of Madai, מגילה אחת. So they found one scroll. וכן כתוב בתוכה, that's what it says in it, דיכרונה. So they have inside it like a memory, a דיכרונה. בשנת אחת לקורש המלך, in the first year of King Koresh, קורש המלך שם צו, and we're repeating what we learned already beforehand. So קורש המלך wrote, בית האלוקים אשר בירושלים, הבית ייבנה, the house of God which is in Jerusalem, the house shall be built, מקום שזובחים זבחים, a place where they bring sacrifices, they bring קורבנות, ויסודותיו מוקמים, and his foundations should be built, רומו אמות 60, רוחבו אמות 60. So it's 60 on 60. And it says also here how to build it. נדבכים של אבן גלל שלושה, so 3 layers of Koresh. The next psukim, a continuation of what Daryavish, what he writes. Yes, so what Daryavish writes. And you can see some from the intention, from the bad intention of Tatnai and his friends, actually the Jews got benefit. Okay, so the intentions of Tatnai were to get the Jews out from building. And sometimes we have difficulties, and we wish it wouldn't happen. We wish maybe that Tatnai and his friends would not send a letter to the king, because we don't know what will happen. But actually, in the end, what happened is that the king supported the Jews and told those guys, stay out from Jerusalem. That's all just read. Okay, now, Tatnai Pachat Ever Nahar, Tatnai the Pachat, the ruler of the other side of the river, the Jordan, Shtar Boznai v'Chavreim, Shtar Boznai, the name, and the friends, האפרכסים, the leaders, אשר בעבר הנהר, on the other side of the river, מרוחקים היו משם. Stay out, stay far away from that area. Stay away from. הניחו לעבודת בית האלוקים הזה. Leave the Jews to build the house of God. תחת היהודים ולזקני ישראל. So leave the Jews leave them, don't bother them from building the house, and don't bother the ruler, the pachat of the Jews and the older people of the Jews. Beit HaElokim Zeh Yivnu al Mekomot. This house of God they should build on this place. וממני הוא שם צו, and for me I gave the permission, a rule, למה שתעשו עם זקני היהודים האלה. Okay, what you should do with those elderly people. And what does he command to do? לבנות את בית האלוקים הזה, to build this house of Hashem. And not only that, ומנכסי המלך שממס עבר הנהר, from the profit of the king, which comes from the taxes from עבר הנהר, which means where you live, where pachat and talmai. From they give taxes, and where do the taxes go to? To build the temple. Okay?
So, just for clarification, so they were paying to build the Jewish temple?
Yeah. The king was paying to build a Jewish temple. So in any case, they had to give taxes to the king.
Yeah, I know
The
that.
king says, instead of sending those taxes far away, those taxes use them to build the temple. במהרה ההוצאה תהיה לתיתן לאנשים האלה שלא לבטל. So fast, give my money to the people, not to disturb from building the temple. ומה שצריך, whatever is needed, ובני בקר, בעלים, cows and sheep, וכבשים לעולות לאלוקי השמיים, to the sacrifices for the God of the sky, חיטים, wheat, מלח, salt, יין, wine, שמן, oil, כמאמר הכהנים אשר בירושלים, as what the כהנים in Jerusalem, what they asked for, יהיה ניתן להם יום מיום בלא משגה, without no mistake, without any questioning. Whatever the כהנים need and they ask for it, give it to them every day. Now it's interesting here, the terms we saw it in the previous pasuk, and we'll see it also in the next pasuk. When the Jews, if we go back in perek, in the letter that quoted the Jews to Daryavish, so they say it's a temple for the God of the heaven and the earth. Hashamayim ve'ha'aretz. Right? And we believe Hashem isn't only in the sky, we believe Hashem is with us, and that's maybe a basic part of the Jewish faith, that Hashem is here with us. And if you look at the words, that's maybe another interesting reason why the letters are brought here, because you can see the differences between the Jewish faith and the non-Jewish faith. So they might believe in Hashem, but he's called Elohei Hashamayim, the God of heaven. The God, it doesn't really live here in us, with us. It doesn't dwell in the land with the divine presence as a Jewish, we believe in it. And that's why it's called Elohei Hashamayim, the Lord of heaven, or the sky. And just interesting how much it affects our life if we believe Hashem is with us. So everywhere we act as if Hashem is with us. The Gemara says even when a person goes to the restroom, so he should realize Hashem is there with him. So we act like a nice way. And if you believe that Hashem is only in the sky, in heaven, okay, so I can do in the land whatever I want. I don't have to have morals. I can do just what I wish to do. So I believe, I pray, I go every once a week to pray, but I don't have to feel Hashem is with me. So that's interesting difference in language. Okay, so in Pasuk Yud, אשר יהיו מקריבים ניחוחים אלוקי השמיים, so give them all the sacrifice, things for sacrifices, so there will be sacrifice and bring ניחוחים, things that smell nice to the God of the sky, מתפללים לחיי המלך ובניו, and they will pray for me, they will be praying for me, that me and my sons will live. וממנו שם צו, he commands more, and you can see how sending him the letter actually in the end helped the Jews. שכל איש אשר ישנה דבר זה, anyone who changes from my commandment, יעקר עץ מביתו. Or will take a piece of wood from his house, the house of them will put from logs of wood, וזקוף יתעלה עליו, he will be hanged up, this person will be hanged up on the part from his house, וביתו אשפה יעשה עליה, and his house will become a dump area, where just to put rubbish there, and also use the bathrooms, so people will know not to disturb the Jewish people while they're building the house of God. והאלוקים אשר שיכן שמו שם, and the God which dwelt his name there, ימגר כל מלך ועם, he will destroy any king and nation, אשר ישלח ידו לשנות, which will send his hand to change, which means to change the temple.
So that's a Goyish king saying?
That's very Goyish king
So
says,
you
yeah.
think he's, giving a shear or something? I mean, I don't think flippantly, but I mean, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the Goyish king says, Hashem will punish everyone who tries to...
couldn't say that he's with us on earth, though, like you just said. He just
Yeah.
he couldn't go that far.
Yeah. He believes in God.
Yeah,
He
no.
believes in God. He just, not as if he dwells here in anything we have. Yeah. לשנות לכבד את בית האלוקים הזה אשר בירושלים, so anyone who will change and try to destroy and bother the building the house of God which is in Jerusalem, God will punish him. אני דריווש, I דריווש, נתתי צו, I gave a commandment, מהרה יעשה. Do it fast. Okay, do it fast. Hey, no waiting. I want it to be done now. So we have a few more psukim. Finish a few more psukim. Finish. Yeah. That's a good question. Explanation. It connects us to Purim so much. You'll see it to Purim. So we'll just read it then for a few more minutes. אז תתנאי, פחד עבר אל ההר. Then תתנאי, the ruler of the other side of the river. שטר באוזני וחבריהם, so שטר באוזני and the friends. לעומת אשר שלח דריווש המלך, because דריווש המלך sent them the letter, כן מהרה עשו. That's what they did fast. וזקני היהודים and the older people, the Jewish people, בונים ומצליחים, building and succeeding, בנבואת, in the prophecy of חגי הלוי וזכריה בנידו, ובנו ותקנו and the build and fixed up, במצוות אלוקי ישראל and the commandment of Hashem, ומצוות כורש ודריווש וארתחששתה מלך פרס. In the commandment of Koresh, Dariavesh, and Artaxerxes, the king of Paras. From this pasuk, by the way, you can see that Koresh, Dariavesh, and Artaxerxes are three different kings. Okay, because it says Koresh, Dariavesh, and Artaxerxes. So it supports the understanding that the time here is stretched longer than what we might think.
So from the beginning when the king wrote the letter, you could build the second temple. What was the time period by the time they started when they finished?
I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. Okay, we could say it's maybe 18 years, but I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's what I mean. Something in that frame. I mean, was
Okay.
in that era. In other words, the people that say you do it, the people that you could see it done, and 8 years later you could see it finished.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether like 25 or 30.
So last week I brought, I left it at home, a piece of paper which I calculated the time period if we go according to the longer period. I don't remember it. I can bring it next week and answer the question. But so again, it depends on which explanation we take of who was who and when exactly they built it. So next week with Hashem, we'll start the shir. I'll bring the paper again and we'll just summarize the time. ונשלם בית זה, and they finished this house, עד יום 13 לחודש אדר, the 13th of Adar. I guess we know this date from Time Esther. We have about a week from the date, more or less. Yeah, 10 days more from that date. שהיא שנת 6 למלכות דריווש המלך. It's the 6th year of the King Darius. It's interesting, again, the question is that it happens before Purim, after Purim. If it happens before Purim, so it's quite interesting that the same date when finished the temple, that's the same date when Haman wanted to kill all the Jewish people. It's an interesting date. Yeah, so interesting. ועשו בני ישראל, הכהנים והלווים, ושאר בני הגולן, the people of Israel, and the Kohanim, and the Levim, and the rest of the people that came from the exile, חנוכת בית האלוקים הזה בחדווה. And they did חנוכת הבית with happiness. והקריבו לך, and it says, mentions here, what קורבנות they brought. והקריבו לחנוכת בית האלוקים הזה, פרים 100 cows, אלים 200, 200 older sheep. How do you call older sheep? Rams. 200 rams, and just simple sheep, כבשים 400, 400 rams, וספירי עזים, and goats, and I think that number is maybe the most interesting number. לחצי על כל ישראל, to maybe have kapara on all the nation of Israel, 12. במניין שבטי ישראל, as we count 12 tribes. Now why is it such an interesting number? We all say 12 tribes. Why is it so interesting? I think because coming back from the exile, not the whole nation came. Only the ones who were taken to Babylon, which was Yehuda, Binyamin, and a few other people from other tribes. But it's mainly the kingdom of Judea. They went to Babel, and they came back. So it's mainly two tribes, like Kohanim and Levim. Okay, so let's say two tribes plus a few from other tribes. But when they come back, they also think of the rest of the nation. We believe that the nation still will come back, and we all the 12 tribes one day will come and will be part of this house. So although many Yehuda and Binyamin, they build it, they have in mind for the whole nation. And that's why I think this, the number is very interesting in this pasuk. 12 is there. Every shul has an Aron Kodesh usually that has something with 12, but I think here in this space it's very interesting. והקימו הכהנים בפלוגותיהם והלווים במחלקותיהם. על עבודת האלוקים אשר בירושלים נכתב ספר משה. So the Kohanim and the Levim had different families and different mishmarot, and each one had his own role. So they re-establish dividing the Kohanim and the Levim, for each one having his role, and which would became the temple, as it says in the book of Moshe. I think we'll stop here. The next few psukim in the same perek discuss Pesach, and before we'll learn that, we'll just mention Pesach in other places.